Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha television. You're watching the breakfast news with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this morning's headlines. Cabinet Committee on Security meet today to discuss Uri attack. Army foils 2 infiltration bids along the line of control. 10 militants gunned down, 1 Jawan killed. Exiled Baloch leader Brahmadag Bukti formally seeks asylum in India, says is confident of a positive response from New Delhi. US President Barack Obama asked nations engaged in proxy war to end it at UN General Assembly meet. Pakistan Prime Minister slated to address session today. And Karnataka Chief Minister calls Cabinet and all-party meet to discuss future course of action after Supreme Court asks it to release 6,000 cusecs of Kaveri river water to Tamil Nadu. Well, the Cabinet Committee on Security will be meeting today to discuss the situation arising out of the Uri terror attack. PTI is quoting sources as saying that the CCS will meet before the Union Cabinet meets today. Though Prime Minister Narendra Modi has discussed the terror attack with top ministers, the CCS will formally discuss the issue. The CCS could also have other agenda besides the Uri strike. Sources in the government said that though such security-related issues are not discussed in the Union Cabinet, the issue of Uri attack could find a mention today. Top brass of the government is convinced that India has to launch a calibrated, multi-layered and strategic response and expose Pakistan in the international forums like in the UN, whose General Assembly is in session. As part of the plans, the Director General of Military Operations will hand over all the evidence linking Pakistan's involvement in Uri attack to his Pakistani counterpart shortly. Pakistan has been demanding actionable proof of its involvement in the attack. Meanwhile, earlier on Tuesday, high-level meetings and deliberations in the corridors of power continued. Home Minister Rajnath Singh once again reviewed the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir with top officials. Home Secretary Rajiv was also rushed to the valley to take stock of the ground situation. But even as India is mulling over the options on how to corner Pakistan over the Uri attack, Pakistani troops violated the ceasefire again along the line of control. 2 infiltration bids were also made by the militants in Uri. The Indian forces, however, foiled the attempts and gunned down at least 10 militants. 1 Jawan was also killed in the encounter. Here are the details.
Barely 2 days after the massive terror strike in Uri, Pakistani troops violated the ceasefire in the same sector of Kashmir, firing at Indian Army posts with small firearms. The firing happened for a brief while around midday. Meanwhile, the National Investigation Agency has registered a case to probe the Uri terror attack, taking over the investigation from the Jammu and Kashmir police. Apart from crucial evidence like the arms and ammunition recovered from the terrorists, the NIA team will also collect the DNA samples of the 4 terrorists suspected to belong to the Jaish-e-Mohammed. The agency is also expected to prepare a dossier and may make a formal request to Pakistan once the identity of the terrorists is ascertained. In Delhi, Home Minister Rajnath Singh once again reviewed the security situation in Kashmir with top officials, including National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar. Union Home Secretary Rajiv flew to Srinagar to assess the ground situation in the valley. He met Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti before reviewing the security situation with top officials from various security forces, police and intelligence agencies. As the government mulls options to isolate Pakistan over terror, pressure from the opposition parties continues to mount.
Already excuses are being trotted out, stories are being planted that commanders are advising against rash action. Whoever wants the government to take rash action, but the country wants the government to take action.
Brave soldiers are dying on a daily basis, and the Prime Minister who made these promises to act against Pakistan, we have had in quick succession. The death of our brave soldiers in Pathankot and then in Uri. And today he wants the nation to forget these lapses.
एक साल भी नहीं हुआ है पठानकोट के हमले को, वहाँ भी 7 जवान शहीद हो गए। उसके बाद भी यही बैठक चर्चा का दौर चलता रहा। जवाबी कार्रवाई की बात भी हो गई। उस वक्त भी हमने ये कहा था कि हम तय करेंगे जवाबी कार्रवाई कब करना है, वो तारीख वो दिन हम तय करेंगे, लेकिन अब तो कोई तारीख का इंतजार है।
International condemnation for the Uri attack also continues. After the US, UK and Russia, Germany and Japan also extended support to India in its fight against terrorism.
Strongly condemn the terrorist attack on the Indian army base in Uri in the Jammu and Kashmir region. Our thoughts are with the families of the murdered soldiers and with the many people who have been injured, some seriously. Germany stands resolutely at India's side in the fight against terrorism. At the Indo-German counter-terrorism consultations, which will take place in a few days' time, we will further discuss the threats to our two countries' societies.
India is set to raise the deadly Uri attack at the 71st United Nations General Assembly, strongly emphasizing Pakistan's role in acts of terror in India. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, amid heightened tension between India and Pakistan, the Western Army Commander Lieutenant General Surinder Singh visited the border areas of Jammu region on Tuesday. He asked troops to ensure high degree of alertness and operational preparedness. During the visit, he took stock of the security apparatus in the sensitive areas and complimented the forces in successfully maintaining a high state of vigil. The Army Commander reviewed the deployment in the entire region and appreciated efforts being made by all the security agencies to enhance the levels of preparedness. General Singh, who took over as General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of Western Command only 3 days back, emphasized on the need for ensuring high degree of alertness and operational preparedness. He also stressed upon the need to coordinate the intelligence network of all agencies in the region so that prompt actions can be undertaken to defeat the nefarious designs of adversaries. Meanwhile, normal life in the violence-hit Kashmir Valley remained paralyzed for the 74th consecutive day on Tuesday due to restrictions and separatist-sponsored strikes. Curfew remained in force in 5 police station areas of Srinagar, while restrictions have been lifted from elsewhere in the valley. The restrictions on the assembly of people under Section 144 of the Criminal Penal Code continues to remain in force. Postpaid mobile telephony services were restored, while the outgoing calls on prepaid numbers continued to remain snapped. The separatists have extended the protest program till September 22nd. They have not announced any period of relaxation in the strike for the week. Exiled Baloch leader Abraham Bukti, heading the movement in Balochistan on Monday, approached the Indian embassy in Geneva seeking asylum in India and exuded confidence of a positive response from New Delhi. Bukti said that he held talks with top Indian diplomats about his asylum as well as that of a number of other Baloch leaders currently staying in Balochistan, Afghanistan and in some other countries. The news comes at a time when Pakistan is being cornered by India for its involvement in terrorist attacks, including terror strikes in Uri. Meanwhile, the party has decided to file a case against China at the International Court of Justice, and to do it, the party will approach India, Afghanistan and Bangladesh for help. The Baloch leader said that the party has also decided to approach the ICJ against Pakistani army generals.
हमने मुलाकात की और हमारा बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल डिस्कशन हुआ और जो हमने पॉलिटिकल असाइलम और दूसरे जो चीजें हैं वो सब डिस्कस की तो आई होप कि अच्छा ही होगा, पॉजिटिव ही होगा.
Well, the issue of terrorism was keenly discussed as the debate of the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly started on Tuesday. The leaders of over 30 member states addressed the plenum. At the session, US President Barack Obama asked nations engaged in proxy wars to end them. His remarks coming a day after his Secretary of State John Kerry asked Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to prevent terrorists from using the country's territory as safe havens. Meanwhile, Nawaz Sharif is due to address the UN General Assembly today, where he is slated to raise the Kashmir issue.
As the general debate of the 71st session of its General Assembly at UN headquarters kicked off in New York on Tuesday, the issue of terrorism took center stage. Barack Obama, in his final address to the UN General Assembly as the US President, asked nations engaged in proxy wars to end them. He said no external power is going to be able to force different religious communities or ethnic communities to coexist for long. Until basic questions are answered about how communities coexist, the embers of extremism will continue to burn. Adding that across the region's conflicts, we have to insist that all parties recognize the common humanity and the nations end proxy wars that fuel disorders.
Mentality that allows for violence with impunity is something we cannot excuse. It's not the subject of this summit, but we all know that what is happening in Syria, for example, is unacceptable. And we are not as unified as we should be in pushing to make it stop.
Earlier, Minister of State for External Affairs M.J. Akbar also touched upon terrorism in his speech on migrants and refugees. He insisted that terrorism was the main cause of refugee movement, saying it is important to stress that today the geopolitics of the crisis points proves that terrorism is the principal cause of refugee movement. Can we ignore this fact? We cannot. We do so at our peril. Outgoing UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon also brought up the issue of terrorism. In his address at his last meeting of the UNGA in the post, before leaving office, Moon took up issue of unrest in Syria, blaming its government and its allies of having blood on their hands. The UN Secretary General also refrained from taking up Pakistan's repeated requests to intervene in Jammu and Kashmir. There was no mention of India, Pakistan or Jammu and Kashmir in his address.
I appeal to all those with influence to end the fighting and get talks started. A political transition is long overdue. After so much violence and misrule, the future of Syria should not rest on the fate of a single man.
Another early diplomatic success by India at the UN was the acceptance of the India-sponsored Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism by the group's group in the UN. Meanwhile, Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is expected to make an impassioned speech against India at the gathering today. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will lead India's diplomatic offensive against Pakistan at the UNGA next week in the wake of the Uri terror attack. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other big news now, overruling Karnataka's objections and giving relief to farmers in Tamil Nadu, the Supreme Court on Tuesday ordered the former to release 6,000 cusecs of Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu till September 27th. Karnataka has termed the ruling as unfortunate and unjust. Karnataka State Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has called for a state cabinet and an all-party meet today in the capital Bengaluru to chalk out the future course of action on the issue.
A day after the Kaveri Supervisory Committee ordered Karnataka to release 3,000 cusecs of the Kaveri river water to Tamil Nadu, the quantum has been doubled by the Supreme Court. The Apex Court has directed Karnataka to release 6,000 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu on a daily basis starting Wednesday till September 27th. It has also asked the centre to constitute a Kaveri Water Management Board within 4 weeks.
Today, Supreme Court noting very seriously that the Union government has not taken any steps for the constitution of the Kaveri Water Management Board, had directed the Union government of India to constitute the Kaveri Water Management Board within a period of 4 weeks from today, from the date of the order. Till the next date of hearing, that is 27th of September, the government of Karnataka has to release 6,000 cusecs of water. These are the orders of the Supreme Court today, and it is a very positive development regarding the sharing of issues, sharing of river water between the states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and we welcome the order of the Supreme Court.
Demand is justified and the Supreme Court has endorsed it. So we stand vindicated that we did not fight for anything extra. What is naturally due to us, now accepted by the Supreme Court.
In order to ease out the tense atmosphere in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, the Apex Court has given 3 days to both states to file their objections with the Kaveri Supervisory Committee. Karnataka, however, feels injustice has been done by the authorities, saying it is completely opposed to the order.
Despite all this, the Supreme Court has passed an order. Since we do not have water, it is very difficult to implement, and after taking the views and opinion of the leaders from all parties. And we will proceed with.
On Monday, the Kaveri Supervisory Committee had directed the Karnataka government to release 3,000 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu for 10 days. The committee had also decided to meet once every month starting February 2017 till the Kaveri Management Board is formed. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Supreme Court dismissed a PIL filed by national lawyers' campaign for judicial transparency and reforms, which sought a new mechanism for the appointment of judges in high courts and the Supreme Court. The apex court quashed the plea, stating that it cannot make constitutional changes, and also added that the current government is already preparing a memorandum of procedure on the same. The national lawyers' campaign also alleged that the talented candidates among the vast majority of lawyers are never considered by the collegium for selection as judges. And it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The art of painting comes to us from the prehistoric period. Paintings are also a valuable source of information about their age. Like this depiction of the wedding procession of Dara Shikoh. The eldest son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan had a Mughal wedding with distinctive Indian elements. Like the veil he wears to the pomp and show of the Bharat in Hindu weddings.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, the third list of smart cities was announced yesterday by the Urban Development Ministry. 27 cities from 12 states have been included in the list after being shortlisted from a total of 63 entries. Here are the details.
Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu announced a list of 27 new cities to be developed as smart cities on Tuesday. The new list accommodates 27 cities from 12 states, including 5 cities from Maharashtra, 4 from Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, 3 from Uttar Pradesh, 2 each from Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and 1 each from Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Gujarat, Nagaland and Sikkim. Varanasi, Kanpur, Agra, Nagpur, Tirupati, Amritsar and Kohima have been included in the latest list of smart cities.
In the next 1 year, one would get to see smart cities taking shape. My ministry is hand-holding states and urban local bodies at every stage of implementation of Smart City Mission, and the results are there for all of you to see.
Smart cities will have facilities such as assured water and power supply, sanitation and solid waste management systems, improved transportation, IT connectivity and e-governance. Under the mission, each city will receive central assistance of rupees 200 crore in the first year and rupees 100 crore over the 3 subsequent financial years. The government aims to have 100 smart cities by 2022, out of which 60 have been chosen so far. For these 27 cities, the proposed investment will be 66,883 crore rupees. The selection process of the remaining 40 cities will commence in January 2017. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Union Cabinet will meet today to consider a proposal to advance the presentation of the general budget and merger of the railway budget with it. The proposal is to break away from tradition and present the general budget on February 1st instead of the last day of the month and scrap the practice of a separate railway budget. The Cabinet meet will be chaired by the Prime Minister, who has been pushing for the move. The Cabinet will also consider the proposal for doing away with the distinction between planned and non-planned expenditure. According to the proposal, the entire budget-making exercise will be advanced by 3 to 4 weeks so as to complete the legislative part of the financial business before April 1st, the start of a financial year. PTI is quoting sources as saying that the government plans to convene the budget session of Parliament before January 25, 2017, present the pre-budget economic survey a day or two before the Finance Minister reads out the budget on February 1st. Towards that end, the advance estimates for GDP will now be made on January 7th instead of February 7th, and mid-year review of expenditure by various ministries is proposed to be completed by November 15th. The idea, sources said, is to get the budget passed by Parliament along with the appropriation bill and the finance bill before March 24th. This would ensure implementation of the budget proposals from April 1st. Well, Samajwadi Party Chief Mulayam Singh Yadav on Tuesday appointed Amar Singh as the party's National General Secretary almost 6 years after he was removed from the same post as well as from the party. The appointment was given in a brief letter signed by the Samajwadi Party Chief on his Lok Sabha letterhead. It was sent to the media from the State SP Chief Shivpal Yadav's official email address. Now, the latest development comes days after Mulayam Singh prevailed in a dispute between his son Akhilesh Yadav and brother Shivpal Yadav. Amar Singh, along with his close associate Jayaprada, were expelled from the Samajwadi Party in February 2010. Subsequently, Singh had floated his own political party, Rashtriya Lokmanch, in 2011. He fielded a large number of candidates in 2012 assembly polls, but none won. As a look now at what's likely to make news during the course of the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. India's cricket governing body, the BCCI, will hold its 87th annual general meeting in Mumbai today, with one of the items on the agenda being the election of its honorary secretary. Among the other items in the appointment of the working and standing committee under the BCCI's existing rules, in contrast to the Lodha panel's reforms which had been approved by the Supreme Court's subsequent ruling. On the 14th day of the ongoing Kisan Yatra from Deoria to Delhi, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will hold a road show in Kanpur today. A Khat Sabha will also be organized before the road show at Ghatampur, which is 60 kilometers away from Kanpur. Rahul Gandhi will spend the night at Kanpur Circuit House and will leave for Unnao on Thursday. Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs Arun Jaitley will inaugurate the 3-day Incredible India Tourism Investors Summit 2016 at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. It is an initiative of the Ministry of Tourism in association with Tourism Finance Corporation of India and the Confederation of Indian Industry. Dr. Mahesh Sharma, Minister of State for Tourism and Culture, will deliver the theme address. Chandrababu Naidu, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, will also address the event. Well, the US has blamed Russia for Monday's airstrike on an aid convoy near Aleppo, which resulted in shattering of a week-long truce in the war-torn region. Calling the airstrike an enormous humanitarian tragedy, the White House on Tuesday said that the United States prefers to continue with the ceasefire in Syria, but continues to remain concerned by Russia's failure to show good faith. Russia, meanwhile, has strongly denied any involvement and has said that the US government had no facts to support its claim. 20 civilians were killed after an aid convoy was hit on Monday night in west of Aleppo, prompting the United Nations to halt its aid operations in Syria.
All right. Come on up, guys. You can join me right here.
All of our information indicates clearly that this was an airstrike. That means there only could have been two entities responsible, either the Syrian regime or the Russian government. In any event, we hold the Russian government responsible for airstrikes in this space, given that their commitment under the cessation of hostilities was to certainly ground air operations in places where humanitarian assistance is flowing.
Well, here's a roundup of the other international news in World Wrap. US authorities have charged New York bombing suspect Ahmad Khan Rahami with use of a weapon of mass destruction in weekend attacks in Manhattan and New Jersey. The charges also include bombing, destruction of property and use of a destructive device. A pressure cooker bomb that went off in Manhattan on Saturday injured 29 people. Another bomb that exploded on the New Jersey shore did not hurt anyone but forced the cancellation of a Marine Corps charity race. The Greek government is to send a ship to provide accommodation for more than 1,000 migrants. This after a fire destroyed large areas of migrants' camps on the island of Lesbos. Up to 5,000 people fled the blaze at Moria camp, where migrants and refugees have long complained of overcrowding. Greek shipping minister said that families would be given priority on the ship and if necessary a second ship would be sent. British Prime Minister Theresa May has dismissed threats by some EU countries to veto Brexit negotiations with the UK. May stressed that all 27 member states will sign up a deal with Britain. Her comments came after Slovakian Prime Minister said that the four Central European countries, Slovakia, Poland and Czech Republic as well as Hungary, were willing to block talks unless their citizens retain their rights to work in the UK after the country voted to leave the European Union in a referendum. That's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.